How's it going, guys? In today's video, we'll be breaking down the life of Ymir Fritz, the originator of the Titan powers and the original founding Titan. Obviously, this video will contain spoilers for Attack on Titan. Much of what the modern-day Eldians know of Ymir is false, and her story is one of betrayal, love, and loyalty. It is commonly believed by the characters in Attack on Titan that Ymir's Titan powers were given to her from a deal with the devil. But the true story is quite different. In this video, we'll be delving into the life and death of Ymir Fritz, how she acquired her Titan powers, and the full extent of her abilities. As always, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help the channel out. Let's crack on. Ymir Fritz was born roughly 2,000 years before the events of Episode 1 of Attack on Titan. She lived in a small village that was conquered by a warring tribe known as the Eldians. The Eldians were ruled by their king, Fritz, who grew the tribe's power and numbers through enslaving those they conquered. At this time, Ymir was just a normal human girl, thus she was defenseless when taken slave by the Eldians. Ymir one day, while taking care of her daily chores, accidentally lets a pig escape from its pen. King Fritz, hearing a pig was missing, had all slaves brought to him and orders the perpetrator step forward or he will begin removing eyes from said slaves. In some kind of up game of Among Us, all the other slaves simultaneously point the finger at Ymir. I guess she got caught venting. It's not exactly explained why all of the slaves would point at her. It's hard to believe they all would know she was the one who actually did it. It's possible the other slaves viewed her as weak or a pushover, so she would make an easy scapegoat, but that's just a theory. King Fritz, being the sadistic man he was, told Ymir he was free and set her loose into the woods, and his soldiers hunted her like some sort of a sick game. They chased her on horseback through the forest, their arrows piercing Ymir's leg and shoulder. Ymir, terrified and hurt, runs through the forest until she comes to a titanous tree, dwarfing all others around it. At the base of the tree sat a massive entrance. Ymir, looking for a place to hide from the soldiers, steps into the entrance of the tree, but is surprised as in the entrance is a hole which she falls into. Ymir falls for what I imagine feels like an eternity until she's submerged in a body of water residing under the tree. As Ymir struggles to breathe in what I imagine she felt like were her final moments, she is approached by a strange alien entity. The entity touches Ymir, merging itself with her spine, transforming her into the first Titan shifter and mother of Titans. Even after the end of the manga, we still don't really know much about this strange entity. Eren Kruger, when talking to Grisha Yaber, describes the entity as the source of all living matter. At the beginning of chapter 137 of the manga, Zeke suggests that this entity is known as life, because it was the first living thing to survive on the planet. It's theorized that the tree in which the entity resides was able to grow so large by being in close proximity to it. Going by some of the scenes of Ymir in her founding Titan form, she looks to be one of the largest Titans we've ever seen. When looking at her in this frame, she dwarfs almost all of the trees around her, suggesting she would almost certainly be taller than Berthold and Armin's colossal Titans, which stand roughly 60 meters tall. The body of Ymir's founding Titan is also unique when compared to other Titan shifters. Her head remains a massive skull, and her giant ribs extend from her body. This is quite different from other founding Titans, including Frida Rice's founding Titan form, who has no evidence of any skeletal features. Ymir, while having what many consider the power of a god, refuses to take revenge on the Eldians who enslaved and abused her. Ymir's personality was apparently so subservient and submissive that she returned willingly to serve the king. This decision on the surface seems pretty hard to understand. My guess is that having served as a slave from a young age, Ymir being beaten and abused, has come to believe that freedom just isn't an option for her. Fritz then uses Ymir's destructive power to grow his own, transforming the Eldian tribe into the Eldian Empire under force of Ymir's founding Titan. It's interesting to note that Ymir likely conquered much of this land with her physical strength alone, as the powers of the founding Titan only worked on subjects of Ymir, which at this time there were none. Remember, Eldians in this time period of Attack on Titan are known as subjects of Ymir because they can trace their lineage back to her. And much of the powers of the founding Titans, such as transforming subjects of Ymir into Titans and controlling said Titans, just couldn't be used at this time. After conquering many nations for the Eldians, Ymir would birth 3 daughters for the king, Maria, Rose, and Sheena. These names ring any bells to you? Yeah, I'd hope so. With Ymir's power and strength, the Eldians developed advanced infrastructure and gained countless slaves. These slaves were either used for physical labor or recruited into the Eldian military. It's interesting to see the dichotomy here between the Eldian Empire of old and the modern-day Marley in Attack on Titan. It seems the Marleyans learned much from their ancient oppressors, such as using their enemies as slaves of war. 13 years since Ymir gained the power of the Titans, the Eldians Empire has grown wealthy and large, making many enemies around the world. One day, a soldier from the Eldian military attempted to murder King Fritz with a thrown spear. Ymir, being the ultimate symbol of subservience, takes the spear for her husband. Seemingly having lost the will to live, Ymir allows herself to die from the wound instead of transforming into her Titan form, shocking King Fritz. Fritz, desperate to ensure the power of the Titans lives on, has his 3 daughters cannibalize their mother in the hopes they will gain the powers of the Titan. The result splits the powers of Ymir's founding Titans into the 3 sisters, and this division would continue in the family until the creation of the 9 Titan shifters that we know today. According to Marleyan history, the Eldian Empire would force the conquered people to have their children, resulting in more subjects of Ymir. The more subjects of Ymir there were, the more pure Titans could be created, thus the easier it was for Eldia to conquer their lands, and a vicious cycle continued. Marley's history books report this ethnic cleansing went on for almost 700 years, creating countless subjects of Ymir. Some really dark stuff here. Upon her death, Ymir's consciousness awoke in what would be known as the past realms, a timeless dimension that coexists with our own. When Ymir entered this realm, it was merely a wasteland of sand, but upon her children devouring her body, 3 paths of light would spread across the sky. As the descendants of Ymir multiplied, the paths in the sky would multiply as well until it formed a vast web, giving the past realm its name. Here in this wasteland, Ymir would craft every Titan in existence and all Titan shifters. In the anime, we see Ymir rebuilding Zeke's body within the past dimension as it was mostly destroyed from a point-blank thunder spear, as well as in the manga, we see Ymir crafting colossal Titans out of the sands. Here, she would remain serving the royal family through the power of the founding Titan until she was joined by Zeke and Eren Yaegar. The last section of this video contains spoilers for the end of Attack on Titan. If you decide to click off the video here, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video or learned something new. I'd really appreciate it. Eren, recognizing that Ymir is neither a slave nor a god, simply a human who loved her king and husband so much she would serve him for eternity. Yes, it was in fact love that motivated Ymir all along. Ymir accepts Eren's offer and grants him the power of the founding Titan. Eren reveals to Armin in the past that Ymir always loved King Fritz, and that's why she continues to serve him for 2,000 years. In that time, she was looking for someone to free her from the pain of love. That someone would be Mikasa, who, in the battle against Eren's founding Titan, would gather to strength to kill the person she loved the most for the greater good. Ymir, seeing this love and sacrifice, was freed from her own chains of love, releasing the power of the Titans from the world. And that's it for the life and story of Ymir Fritz. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Honestly, one of the more sad, tragic characters in all of Attack on Titan. That's saying something because Attack on Titan has some of the most tragic, sad characters of like any anime ever. Let me know what you think of Ymir's story down below. It's interesting that Isayama decided to use love as her driving factor for everything that she did, especially considering all the abuse that she was put through, but it does link to Mikasa and Eren's relationship very well, so I assume this was probably his goal all along. As always, guys, if you enjoyed the video or learned something new, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help the channel out a lot. Go check out some of our other videos, like speedrunning AOT in under 10 minutes, and all of Eren's Titan forms explained. As always, I hope to see you in the next video. Stay safe out there. Peace, love. Adieu.